After a long wait, Venom joins the cast of Guilty Gear Strive. And while this character is difficult, my goal in this video is to give you a good baseline to get started with this character. In this video, I'm going to go over what type of character Venom is, his strengths and his weaknesses, his most important moves, and some simple strategies to get started. And for starters, what type of character is Venom? Venom is a technical character. He uses projectiles to control the screen, build resource, and create strong situations. To do this, he uses his balls. He can hit these all sorts of ways, which means it will take a while to get a hang of what to do, but as you improve, you'll have more control over the pace of the match. So for starters, what is good about this character? One is his large pokes. He's able to control the ground with a combination of big buttons and projectiles with ease. He also has good meter gain, so as the character is moving around a lot and doing a lot of things, he's just building resource. He has a comboable command grab, so it's rare in that it doesn't have the same risk return like other powerful command grabs, but you can break from basically anywhere, and that's really important. He also has good mix-up, so not only does he have good high-low, like this example, but he also has left-right, in addition to traditional strike throw that people have. His meter usage is also really good because he has Dark Angel, which might be one of the best supers in the entire game. And in my opinion, I think he's strongest characters that have to run at him. Characters running at him means that he is doing special moves into them, which means he's building resource quickly, which means he can get to Dark Angel quickly. For Konzo, a starter would be that he doesn't do that much damage, so if you're looking for a character that loops mix-ups, he's not going to feel that rewarding because his reward off this stuff is not that high. But other things that the balls have a small hitbox, you might want to say he has small balls because you can maneuver around these. You should expect it to be smaller than you think. So as a Venom player, you can't really be lazy with the projectiles. You have to be pretty precise and know what you're doing with your projectiles. I also think compared to other one-star characters, it's not as straightforward to go from neutral to offense/mix-ups. I don't know if it's just because he's new or if you need to do like really specific things to do it, but at least that's kind of the feeling I've had so far from playing him. I don't think he's super good at doing it until he gets Dark Angel. He also has no reversals, so you need to use system mechanics and situational knowledge in order to escape situations. And finally, I think he's weak against characters that could counter projectiles in some way, or spend a lot of time on the upper opposite side of the screen, because he just doesn't have something to threaten there immediately. So now, for these guys, I usually break them into the 4 phases of fighting game, which would be neutral, offense, defense, and knockdown. But before we actually get into that, I want to explain how the ball sets work. Each ball gets set in a different position. P goes on the ground next to him, K is directly in front of him, S is above like this, and H is far in front. The 4 together look like this. And the full set mirrors that. Now, you don't have to wait for the ball to go to position. So you don't have to wait and do this. You can actually hit the ball as soon as it appears on screen. So even though his recovery is 30 frames, the ball comes out in 15. So you could hit it immediately. So this is P set, hit right away. K set, hit right away. It looks similar, but I am doing 2 different ball sets here. A small example of this mattering, because you might be like, why does it kind of matter? This and this look the same, would be with this K set, H set. If you actually set the H ball first, you do H ball, K ball, hit, and it does this nice spread thing. But if you do the K ball first and hit it right away, it does this horizontal thing, which if you have a use for that, that's fine. But for most situations, you want this spread of control. So it does matter which ones you set at which times. Moving on, the strength of what you hit the ball with will affect not only where it goes, but how far it goes, unlike older Guilty Gear games. So in previous Guilty Gear games, if the strength of what you hit the ball with affects the speed of it, but it would go like full straight, it'll just keep going. But in this game, if you do, let's say the K ball, which puts it here, and you hit it with your jab, it doesn't go full screen. You would need to use something stronger, say something like a 5H, which sends it full screen, or a far slash, which sends it almost full screen. The ball decelerates as it moves as well. The easy rule, if this sounds complicated, is the weaker the attack, the less far it will go. The stronger the attack, the farther it will go. You can also make balls ricochet by either connecting with an opponent or making contact with something like the ground or the wall. This, by the way, does not happen with single ball hits, it's specific moves that do this, like Carcass Raid or Charge Stinger. Finally, striking a ball counts as connecting with something. So normally when you attack characters, you can do like 5k jump or close slash with the buttons, things you expect when you make contact with stuff. The balls work the same. So if I do a K ball and hit it, I can jump cancel. Or if I do a K ball and hit it, I could do another ball while that's moving. Also, as you may have noticed before, but I'll be more specific about it here, balls can hit other balls. So the example I used before was this H set K set, H set K set 5H, and the K ball hits the H ball. And because the H ball is slightly lower than the K ball, you get this nice little spread. Sometimes you don't have enough time to set this up, so you can also do this by using a special move. So 5k sending here. You can do this with Stinger using only one ball. Now, with that out of the way, let's go to his moveset. And, I mean, since we started on how the balls work, let's start with the sets and what you use each one for. So, when you're starting, the K ball set, I think, is by far the most important. It's really easy to use immediately, and it could do a lot of things. You can control the ground in front of you by using 5k. You could set a projectile full screen by using 5h. By using the 5h, you can cancel to another K ball set. You can go anti-air with 6p or a sharper angle with 2h. There's just a lot of stuff you could do with this K ball set. And it's a very good, I don't know what to do, I'm going to set this ball. Then we have S set. So this one is kind of important for neutral, where the K set seems to be very obviously like used for the ground. The S one seems to be weird because you mostly use this for like mix-ups and stuff, but it's really good for establishing control under him and, more importantly, starting offense from neutral. With this, you could hit it with JP right away and hit it with another button. So you could do like PS like this, or you can do S set into JK and have this nice, similar to your 5k trajectory. And like what I mentioned with hitting this ball, if it also applies to air moves, you have things like this that you could use to just get control of the ground other use. You can set up more stuff or move. That being said, I would not say this is a go-to one, and when you're starting, K set is going to carry you like a ton. So slightly more important than S set would be P set, which might seem to be difficult to use at the beginning because his moves that hit here, things like 5H and 5K are not going to hit the P set. You have to use crouching moves like 2K, 2S, and 2H, even sweep. But a lot of these angles don't look that useful at a glance. But the big thing about P set is you really take advantage of the fact that you could hit the ball before it goes into its position. So what I mean is, if you take K set, for example, it kind of just horizontally there. But if you use P set, you use 5K, it goes like slightly lower. You can actually wait a pinch longer and hit like lower horizontal balls with the P set. Also, the P set is really useful with Oki because of this 2K kind of slow trajectory thing that makes you very advantageous. Finally, there's H set. So H set is kind of hard to use because a lot of your immediate things don't work on it, and you would have to like pull up to kind of hit it. But the idea behind H set is, one, you can act with far slash right away, so where your K set will not send projectile full screen, if you do H set, you will hit it full screen. Keep in mind, his 5H is not as big as his far slash. The other thing about H set is it works really well in tandem with other ones, like I mentioned before. So you're generally using this when you have a good amount of advantage. Finally, there's the full set. So this actually has a couple of special rules. So unlike, let's say, setting these two, the game gets really weird and will like take balls off the screen when you have full set, but it's not like there's not use for this move in neutral. The main thing you have to remember about it for the moment is that these two, setting two like this, is slower than setting all of them. So if for some reason you want to set two, or you think you have time to set two, you can set all of them, especially in guaranteed situations. But most of the time in neutral, you will set one, and while you're setting the one, you'll kind of assess whether or not you have time to do another one if you wanted to do another one for some reason, and then you could do that. So then we have buttons. So far slash and 2 slash are both really important because they cover large amounts of space in front of you. Far slash is just big in general, where 2 slash is really active, so you can use it to chase backdashes. The other nice thing about these moves is that they can go into Q5 on block, which puts a ball on block because these ball sets are not fast. The balls appear quickly, but you can't act on them quickly. So Q5 really helps for that. 5H is an important button, but not because of its range, mostly just because that it hits balls full screen, and as balls can be acted on, it lets you set another one pretty quickly and lets you assess the situation. His 6P is fine. I remember people saying they didn't think this was a good move. It has a fine hitbox. It does what it has to do. It also helps you cover anti-air preemptively. Not even just an opponent jumping in on you, but also someone jumping from afar. And as mentioned before, you can set another ball off it. His sweep low profiles attacks. As is a sweep, you'll get very big reward off it because of the heavy counter hit. Then there's Stinger. So Stinger, this is your charge projectile. So the H version is super fast, but has a lot of recovery, while the S version is decent speed and has less recovery, so you can try to set a ball behind it. Now, the important thing to note here is that the projectile from the Stinger is like a normal projectile, but the pull Q of Stinger kills projectiles. Here's another example. My ball dies here, but if I use the pull Q, dead. Then you have JS. This is like your all-around air attack jump in, so it hits below you, it's cross up, and you can hit balls with it on a downward angle. It's a good all-around button. You also have air carcass raid. So there's two. This is the S carcass raid. This is the H carcass raid. The H carcass raid shoots faster and at this kind of angle here, where the S carcass raid shoots kind of slower. These moves are pretty useful, especially the H version of the move. Also chargeable, both of them. As a final thing, if you charge it, he will land cancel and set a ball like this automatically, and it's not the same position as P-ball. Then finally there's Dark Angel. This move is very broken. It covers the ground of a huge projectile. It corners automatically. It doesn't go away on hit. And essentially you basically instantly corner somebody. So then for offense, first we have to talk about H Carcass Raid. So this move is +9 and it's quite fast. So you can use it in strings. It's all around good move. Now the first hit is a physical attack before the projectile. So what this means is if someone FDs the pull Q, he'll be pushed back. This is just so that he just doesn't do this over and over. It's really good for establishing an offense and thinking about what to do. And there's 5K. So the biggest thing about this move is that it is extremely active at 8 frames. So you can delay this move a lot. So you can use this for frame traps. You can auto time something with 6K. And if you're good at doing the dash cancels, you can dash cancel into command grab. It's also safe at -2, so you don't have to commit to something. Then you have 2K. 2K is a low, you can buffer stuff out of it. This is usually your strike option for your strike throw. And in the case of high-low, this is your low option. Then you have 6K. This move is quite good. So for starters, it's safe on block, but also it vacuums the opponent. So even on faultless defense, you kind of pull them at you. You can use this for strike throw, or you can frame trap. Then you have close slash. So this is your general plus on block move when you're close enough. It's a multi-hit, so your opponent will be able to like see that you're doing it to them. There's a couple of important things about this move. So one, since it's multi-hit, you can use it in combination with 6K to get more plus frames. So he also has the ability to dash cancel into Carcass Raid, but this is pretty hard. The other big thing about it is that as it's a multi-hit, if someone uses YRC, you can buffer a jump into the second hit to jump and block the YRC. So we have 2D. So this is a multi-hitting low, and similar to 6K, the first hit has a very small vacuum. So generally you should be able to do combos and pressure when the first hit connects. And it's a good habit to cancel the first hit rather than the second hit. He has another multi-hitting move in 2H. This move is 17 frames. So after close slash, this will have a 1 frame gap, and this is a low hit. This also means that off buttons like 2S, you can frame trap mashing with it automatically as there's a 4 frame gap. And since it's an H button, the reward is quite big. Then you have this move, Q5. So for starters, it's a pretty big move. I mentioned before that you could use this as a cancel option off slashes pretty reliably. At 16 frames, you catch jumps. There are guessing games you can play by charging the move. This move actually has 3 levels. You have the initial one, you have a half charge one, and you have a fully charged one. And for pressure, you're mostly going to be using the uncharged one and the half charged one. The big thing here is that since it sets a ball on block, you can set up a situation where they block something and then you keep your offense going. Then we have his command grab. You can break from basically anywhere here. And even though the grab itself doesn't do a lot of damage, if you break the wall, you get positive, and you can do setups off it. So it's pretty good. On top of, since this is a long total duration, when you don't have balls set, you still have some other type of threat that's not just straight up throw. Then there's this JD. So you might be tempted to use this as an overhead off the ground, but it's actually not that good for that because of the speed. The jump startup plus this makes it reactable at about like 23 frames. As a jump in, it's pretty decent. And if there's a ball on them especially, you can use this for your overhead selection. It's also jump cancelable and air dash cancelable and special cancelable, even though the air special cancel option is not like amazing. For your standard offense, the big thing about JD would be to catch people who tech throws. And on top of that, it's special cancelable on the ground, like when he reaches the ground, so you can go into H Carcass, which is really good. Then finally, of course, Dark Angel. So you can use this for offense as well. You can straight up do very simple high-low mix-ups behind it, and Robo-Kai will come and hit them. As you might have noticed, Robo-Kai only comes out when the Dark Angel hits. So in theory, you have the ability to use it in setups. So in this example, the Dark Angel is going to hit OTG, and then he's going to come out. So next we have to talk about defense, and this is where it gets kind of sad. So this character has no reversal to speak of. Both his supers are utility supers. One thing to note about this, once it actually does go off, it is pretty fast. It stays on hit. Similarly, Dark Angel also stays on hit. He has a standard backdash, and his jump is pretty normal too. And the character himself is not that fast, just like kind of normal speed. One of the main things you will be using is his 2P. His 2P is goated compared to other characters. You'll hit from about here, and is consistently confirmable into H Stinger. So in the case you do get a mash, you're able to immediately set up right away and try to reverse the situation. Last thing to note, meter-wise, he does not have a reversal super, but his YRC situation is actually quite good, which you might find odd because everyone has the same YRC, but not the same options off YRC. Because he has a command grab, you can break the wall pretty reliably from his back to the wall, which is really good. Now finally, we're going to cover his knockdowns. So you can start with 2K2D set when you don't know what to do. I do a lot of P set into hitting the ball here, but there are mix-ups here, apparently, but I don't know or do them. Generally, what you want to do is cancel the first hit of 2D into H Carcass Raid. And from here, you have a couple of ways you can go after the 6H knockdown. You can either do a K ball set, you can do an S ball set. What you're basically doing here is a left right using JS air dash or JS into JD, air dash JD. If you go into K set, you go into high low with air dash FD. And from here, you either do FD to JD or FD into low. Now, I do want to repeat that you don't want to spend a lot of time just looping mix-ups because he doesn't do a lot of damage off mix-ups. If you were to do the left-right over and over, for example, and just pick cross over and over, you would take a really long time to kill. I play Baiken as my main character, and you would have died a long time ago if I got to do this many mix-ups to you. So you don't really want to waste time. What I have been kind of doing is just paying attention to the position of the wall. For round start, I'll go high-low instead. And now meter is essentially free. I get Dark Angel, multiple probably, and I'm way scarier than before. Doing the left right is not a bad idea here either. As you get resource, just keep in mind that if you go cross up, I am not really aware of how to go to the other corner here. If you need a safe jump up throw, you backdash and air dash, or you have the ability to use things like charge S Carcass Raid, which also gives you a bunch of time to assess the situation. In the corner, you can use the same type of setup, or you could use 2H into H Carcass. So that's kind of an overview of what he does. I do want to end this video by sharing some like simple strategies and tips for the character. He is going to take some work, and I don't think we'll see his potential honestly for a couple of months, but I do have some suggestions to get started. I have made videos previously on how to charge, but the number one thing you need to remember is your ABCs always be charging, right? If you're not good at charging, start with 2K2D H Carcass. This gives you a long time to charge, and it has down input, so you could be holding down back this entire time. As you get better, you should be able to do this with one hit of 2D, but if you're new to charging or you need to think about the input because it's not a common input, then the 2-hit will really help. After that, you could work on slightly more difficult charges. Probably the hardest one, not counting some more difficult advanced stuff, would be 2K 6K. If you can charge with this, then you're already pretty good at charging. And the trick is use the buffer to get to the charge quicker, because this is not a fast move. So by doing 6K as fast as possible and going back to charge, you can charge right away. You can also do this with close slash 6K. To be frank, this one is a little bit more lenient because of how much time close slash takes. For neutral, you'll really have to adapt to specific situations by character earlier than other characters, because that's what he wants you to do. But essentially, your goal is to cover the space until you can navigate to an advantageous position. You're going to be building meter naturally by doing a lot of these special moves. H-Stinger clears the ground, and if it hits, you have time to set a ball, which lets you start your game plan. I also said this earlier in the video, but I do really stress, because this really messed with me for a couple of days. Your weak hits don't send the ball full screen, so just keep that in mind. And this also applies to multiple balls being on the screen. So the one I just showed, you're not going to get any distance off these. So really keep that in mind, especially if you're coming from an older Guilty Gear game, because it did not work like that in the old Guilty Gear games. Finally, to top off this video, the last thing I want to say is you don't always have to intercept your opponent. Use your projectiles to make the decision of what if you want to meet your opponent or if you want to move around your opponent. This will really make a big difference in your play. It will stop you from going crazy, to be honest. And if you're trying to intercept everything your opponent does, you should play Oscar or Happy Chaos, because that's what they do. That's not what Venom does. So save yourself the time, save yourself the rage, and try not to go too crazy trying to stop everything. To be fair, someone could ask, that sounds really vague. How do I know when to press and when not to? The easiest way, I think, is that anything like horizontal or anti-air, you should be willing to try to meet. And the big one to not go super out of your way crazy to fight are low profiles. So like stuff like Mace 3K or Bikins 2H. See how May clears this very easily. But this is a pretty committal move. So if they're using this, you do just get a knockdown for blocking it. You don't have to like hit it. You don't have to like win. You can just take the small win of they are running up, so you back off or you jump over them. You just don't have to fight absolutely everything your opponent does. But yeah, that's my beginner's guide to Venom. Beginner's basics, I guess, both. Let me know what you guys think. As usual, if you have any questions or comments, definitely feel free to leave them in the comment section below. I do have a Patreon where I do both free videos of just like what I'm thinking about in general, and then there's exclusive content. I'm trying to do more stuff over there for people who support this channel. If you want Guilty Gear coaching specifically, I do that on Medify at medify.gg/@LordKnight. I stream most days on Twitch, twitch.tv/LordKnight in like the afternoonish EST. That's where we practice, hang out, talk about fighting games, and also do stuff for my second channel, LordKnight Chronicles. Of course, like and subscribe if you guys feel like it too, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace out.